Hi everyone, in this video we are fixing a stuck battery cover on my Pentax ME, but I'm pretty sure this method will work on pretty much any SLR with a similar type of base plate and battery cover as the one we have here. And we will try to do this without doing any cutting or any drilling into the little battery cover door itself. I know there's a lot of videos out on YouTube that shows you how to drill holes and cut bigger grooves with different tools like a Dremel, but hopefully we should be able to get this battery cover out without doing any damage or any further damage to the battery cover. So the problem is usually caused by either over tightening the battery cover itself when changing batteries, or by leaky batteries and the oxide kind of getting into the threads and locking them shut. If you're patient enough, you could try using products like electronic cleaner, PB blaster, or just regular white vinegar and see if that will loosen up the threads. In my case, none of those methods or products actually worked, which led me to believe that I accidentally might have over-tighten the battery cover, but as it turns out, it might have been a combination of both, as you'll see. Before I took anything apart, I decided to give it one last try with some white vinegar. I soaked the threads from the outside and let it sit for about 30 minutes, but it still wouldn't come out. So here we go. On the ME, there's 3 tiny screws that holds the base plate to the camera. Once we get those out, we can access the cover from both the inside and the outside to get a better look at what's causing the problem. In my case, I could see that both batteries were intact with no sign of any leakage, but there was still some old oxide around the threads. So let's dose the threads with some more vinegar and see what happens. At first, this didn't help either. I wasn't able to move the battery cover just a tiny bit, but I accidentally discovered that if I added a tiny amount of counter pressure to the back of the battery cover from the inside, I was able to get the battery cover to move just slightly bit by bit. But be careful and don't apply too much counter pressure, and apply the pressure just on the battery cover itself. Otherwise, you might end up warping or bending the little flimsy base plate here on your camera, which might affect the seal and the overall fit and allow more dirt and debris to get into your camera mechanics. So be very careful and gentle when applying that counter pressure. But after applying that counter pressure, I was able to unscrew the cover and I could see some more signs of oxide, which I cleaned out with some more Q-tips and vinegar. And while you have everything apart, make sure to do a thorough inspection of the actual threads on both the cover and the plate itself, just to make sure there's no damage or any visible dirt or debris in there. Now, this next step might stir up some emotions from some people, but I decided to add just a tiny amount of this lubricant to the threads on both the cover side and the plate itself. Again, by using a Q-tip to make sure we only get a trace amount of that viscous, sticky lubricant on our threads. Hopefully, this tiny amount of lubricant will make it easier and safer to screw in and loosen the cover whenever I need to change batteries the next time. Just make sure to use a very, very small amount of something super sticky. Now, with everything cleaned and lubed up, it was time to do a quick little test before we put everything back together. And it looks like it's working as it should. What a relief! Let's put everything back together again. Now, a few things to consider here. If your battery cover is just totally stuck and you really need some new batteries in your camera for an upcoming trip or shoot or what have you, you could obviously remove the base plate just like we did here in this video and insert new batteries this way without fiddling with the battery cover at all. But in the long run, it might wear out the tiny little screws we have here on the plate, so I wouldn't recommend this as a permanent solution. Usually you should be able to find base plates, battery covers and other parts on places like eBay from people that take apart old non-working cameras and sell them for parts basically. So give this a try before you order any new parts. Hopefully it will take care of the problem for you. Now, let me know if it does, and I want to thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you in a future video. But until then, bye!